Hi and welcome to Snowboard Instructor tool. Let's have a look at the lesson plan part of the motion analysis. There is two sections for the lesson plan, the instructor goal and your exercise. Our student goal might not be achievable in a lesson, but the instructor goal or your lesson goal has to be doable for the time of your lesson. Both goals will often be different. The instructor should help the student get closer to their goal. Of course, you will define your goal depending on the type of lesson you're giving. It will be a very different goal if you consider you're doing a week-long lesson or if you're doing a 3-hour lesson. Usually, for my analysis, I focus on around 2-3 hour lessons because this is what I do the most in my work. Your goal should be stated as simply and clearly as possible, so it helps you make your lesson more coherent. This is a very important step that you should train for your lesson. You can really tweak your goal to fit the level of your certification you are training for or the level of your student. It could be as wide and general as introduction to carving to very muscle specific, like how to use your glutes. I personally like my instructor goal to be about the movements the student need to do. To make your instructor goal, you will need to use your observation as well as the information from your students and the conditions to decide what to do. A coherent lesson comes together with a coherent set of exercises to do during the lesson. And remember that mileage is key. Give your student plenty of time to practice, to experience, to understand, and play with the exercise you would like them to do. I find it best to always make the last exercise an exercise that puts the movement you're trying to achieve during the riding or the turning. So you put back the movement in the riding. I usually use 2 types of exercise sets depending on my student and my goal. My first option for the set will be a static active turning set of exercise. For example, if I'm trying to introduce a movement to my students, I will use this one. I will let them have plenty of time and safe practice to understand the movement before using it during the riding. The static exercise will be done on a flat, no speed environment, usually top or bottom of the lift, and allow the student to understand the movement we're trying to do without having the board sliding. It could even be without the board. For example, a static ollies or doing squat on the board would be static exercise. For my active exercise, it will be done in a fairly easy maneuver, so slow speed, fairly flat terrain during a traverse, and you allow the student to understand the movements we are trying to do while the board is sliding. So we can do ollies during the traverse, cat track, nose and tail press. And finally, the turning exercise will be done while the student is riding, so turning, and allow the student to put that movement into their riding to understand and feel how it affects the riding. This is where I will give a lot of mileage. It could be grabbing the board during the turn, doing dolphin turns. My other exercise is like a 2 exercise set. So if I'm trying to improve a movement on my students, I will usually use this approach. It will give us a lot more practice and riding time. It works well. It works great with students with higher level or when the condition calls for riding intensive lessons, like very, very cold. The first exercise would usually be done to exaggerate the movement I'm trying to improve and in an environment where the student can focus on it. So edge roll across the fall line, toes to toes. My second exercise would usually be done while the student is riding, so turning, and allow the student to put their movements into their riding and understand and feel how it affects their riding. So exchange in the air, zipline turns, grabbing the jacket. The information from your students and the conditions are very important to determine what exercise you should choose. If your exercises are well chosen and adapted to your students, their goal and your goal, it should be clear why you have chosen those exercises without needing to explain it. This is the way I approach motion analysis and the lesson plan that come with it. Feel free to add your own 2 cents into the comment section in order to help everybody else or to correct me. If you like the training, consider subscribing, liking the videos, and sharing it with your coworkers. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.